Welcome back to another art update video. I'm going to be showing you some of my recent pieces and talking through the references that I used. This first piece is called Struggle of the Jungle, or at least that's what I think I'm going to call it. This piece was made a few days after arriving in the Philippines. I had gotten sick while traveling and was struggling to get a normal sleeping schedule. This was made one night when I woke up at 2 a.m. and couldn't get back to sleep. The drawing kind of represents the struggle of adjusting during that time. I used two different references for the face and combined characteristics of each. The first reference used more of the facial features and expression. I really wanted to capture the squinting eyes and baring of the teeth with the red lip. The second reference was an inspiration for the hairstyle. I like looking at things that are more unconventional or unique, which is why I chose this as the reference for my piece. As far as a reference for the background, I didn't really use one. I took this opportunity to be a little more free and messy with what it looked like. I used green as a complement to the color of the lips. I chose not to fill in the color of the face, so the focus of the piece would remain on the red lips and expression. This next piece is called Red to the Core. I made this second piece to play off the concept of the first. I love the idea of 2 pages in a sketchbook playing off one another. Going into this one, I wasn't sure exactly what I would do, but I knew I wanted the colors to be inverse. The left one is a lot of green and a little red, and the one on the right is a lot of red and a little green. There isn't necessarily any meaning behind the apple, but it felt like it fit with the expression of the mouth. I also used 2 references with the apple. The first reference is a realistic looking one that is reflected more in the core or the bitten part of the apple. My second reference was cartoon in nature, and that shows up more in the untouched or green part of the apple, as well as the stem and leaf. I debated on creating a design in the red background, but ultimately decided against it since the first piece had so much going on. This next piece is called Sleeping with the Fish. This next drawing, I didn't start out with a clear idea of what it would turn into. It was more of a fuck around and find out kind of thing. I was quite indecisive with this. You can start to sort of see that I put the dead end sign in the middle of the page to begin with. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm currently in the Philippines, and if you don't know, weed is not legal here, so I've been substance free for the past month. This has led to me having vivid dreams, which I haven't experienced in quite a while. So this piece represents the dreams I've been having and the randomness that happens in them. I had quite a few references for this, the first being the dead end sign. This picture was taken near my apartment in California. I always find signs interesting and have attempted to use them in my art before, like this sign we saw in Portland while on our road trip. The next reference I used to help with the positioning of my body. I didn't intend for this to be a self-portrait, but that's what it turned into once I drew the clothes and hair on top of the figure. Another reference I used was for the pillow. I had never attempted to draw a pillow before, so this was helpful when drawing the ripples and folds in the fabric. The last reference I used was for the goldfish. This one was really nice when trying to draw different orientations of the fish. I had a lot of fun using colored pencil and building up the color on the goldfish. This last piece is called Gina's Leaves. This piece was created with some old pastel that we shipped here and forgot about. Gab and I were kind of bummed we didn't bring any good pastels, but I still wanted to try and make the ones we have work. The reference I used for this is actually a picture of one of the plants outside the house. I considered not including this one because it was done rather quickly and sloppily, but pieces like this are a part of the process of making art. Not everything I show can be something that took me multiple days because that's not realistic. Especially with all this wild, amazing art we see on social media, it can be easy to feel discouraged and compare. So I think it is important to show the casual art too. So that wraps up my monthly art video for September. Thank you for watching.